Hello, everyone. I am Tessellating Hexagons. It's all about me. There is no one else here. No, I do actually have a guest for once because it's Eurovision week. How did that happen? Where does the time come from? Anyway, yes, hello, you're also here.
Yay. Hi, everyone. I'm Janro, or Jordan, or whatever you want to call me.
He is a friend and a boy, and I think he looks like Tom Scar, but that's none of my business. So anyway, tonight, semi-final one, Eurovision. We've only waited 2 years for a show.
Yes, slay, queen.
We have our scorecards. They'll be available in the description. I have emerged from my void and created a nice little interview corner. And, well, here...
Yeah, instead of poetry corner, it's interview corner.
Yeah, because, you know me, I don't like talking to people. Better dedicate a whole part of my home to it. So we're here to talk about, well, the first semi-final. Yeah, we have our scorecards. I just mentioned that, and I guess we'll just... Let's just jump right into it. So, opening the show, Lithuania, the Roop, discotheque. It's basically just Pabandum Ishnauyo again.
It's just the same performance, isn't it? It's the same performance with updated graphic-y kind of thing bobs.
Which, to be fair, I do like what they've done with the graphics. It's got that sort of woobliness. It does make it look all different and fresh and stuff, so I'm okay with it. My only issue, and this isn't just Lithuania, there's quite a few countries that are doing the whole cinematic aspect ratio thing, and that is just...
Oh, yeah, that just completely distracts.
It's so pretentious. It strikes me as, oh, you scrubs would never be watching this performance on the screen that this performance deserves. And I know that's not what their thought process is. That's just the impression that it gives. And that's true of any country that does it. But, other than that, rehearsal is very promising. I think they're likely to slay, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, the vocals are fine. I'm not massively keen on the song.
And that's valid.
But at the end of the day, they do it well. They appeal to their market. Fair enough.
Yeah, they're out here doing they thing, and then, as if to afflict all of Europe with mood whiplash right after that, Slovenia, if we're ready to move on already.
Yeah, Slovenia, it's a song, it exists, there's nice graphics.
It is a prime candidate to be underrated by the general masses because, to be honest, Anna Soklic is a really good vocalist, and her rehearsals, apart from the one where she missed her mark with the floor graphics, but I mean, that could happen to anyone, she's a good performer, and I think this deserves better than it's gonna get. Yeah,
I think, the jury-wise, I think this could do quite well, but on the public vote, it's gonna get absolutely nothing.
Which is a shame. Good vocals, good, the graphics in themselves, I think, are worthwhile.
Yeah, she's got the nice kind of planet-y earth behind her, and then as she comes into just before the final chorus, she has the big screen at the top, and that creates a nice atmosphere. But girl, hit your marks, please.
This is why we have rehearsals. But yeah, it wouldn't be a Eurovision without someone having a giant planet on the screen.
Yeah.
And I say this, Spain is like, you want a giant planet on the screen? I raise you a giant moon that's not on the screen. But we'll get to that in a few days' time, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So, next, Russia.
Russia, Manija, Russian woman. She's a Roomba. I'm kind of here for it. I know, this song, so many people, I think, aren't going to much care for it because it is kind of niche. If someone said, oh, I don't actually like it that much, I would completely understand where you're coming from. I don't know why I do like it, but I do. And she's just kind of just sort of zooming around in the dress. Then she walks out of the dress and she's wearing the tracksuit. It's fun.
I am certainly one of those people that do not like this song.
And that's okay.
The performance, the graphics, they're all good. I see this doing very well with the public. I do think this is going to come last place with the jury, though. This is not a jury song at all.
I completely agree. I think the jurors will be like, wow, this is textbook mess. But then the public will be like, yeah, but it's fun, and also women, and they have positive affirmations in the background, I think.
Yeah, the message on the performer, I completely respect and love that. It's just the song itself, just not for me.
But she delivers it with conviction, and it is a very convincing performance from what I've seen. And
yeah, absolutely.
It takes a strong performer to take a song like this and put it across in such a way that doesn't make it seem like it's just there for a laugh. Because for a lot of people, I've had dreams before about okay, well, you're up, go on the Eurovision stage and sing, and then the song is just something like this, and it takes confidence to wear it this well, and she does wear it well.
Yeah, absolutely.
She can manage a good score, hopefully. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Sweden is song number 4.
I like Sweden. I think Tusse himself brings a lot more authenticity to this song than it probably had in the demo versions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he as a performer is the centerpiece of this song, and I think this is going to do a lot better than some people think it will.
Yeah, because there are some people manifesting a non-qualification for Sweden, and like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone, and I stand by what I said before. This is my favourite Swedish entry in quite a long time. I think that is because of what Tusse brings to it, but Tusse has brought it to it, so it's fine. The staging, similar to Melodifestivalen, I think people have been giving it a lot of flack because of, like, bright lights. I think
the lights were a little bit too bright in the rehearsal, but I think
that's what the rehearsals are there for.
Yeah, they're probably going to be fixing that in the dress rehearsal and all that kind of thing. So
yeah, great guy's going to do Sweden proud.
Yeah,
and if he doesn't, then he can say that he tried. I don't know where I was going with this thought. Like, I don't wish him a bad result.
I don't think this is going to be another Anna Bergendahl moment.
Yeah, I think Anna Bergendahl was a one-time thing, and then Sweden's like, wow, we're going to pull out every single stop imaginable to make sure that never happens again.
Yep.
But if they surprise us by underperforming, I mean, that's also a surprise.
Well, Benjamin Ingrosso underperformed, didn't he? So it is possible.
It is indeed. And then there's Australia. Sort of a similar story in a way. Because I think some people reckon that she'll be at a disadvantage by not being there in person, and I'm not sure if I agree. I don't think using her live on tape performance will pull her back as much as people think that it will.
I don't think it will be pulled back, but was she ever that far forward in the first place?
I think that's the more important question. And I do think this song is underrated, because when she performs it, again, she performs it with passion and conviction, and she does own it.
She's a very good vocalist. It's just the fact is the song, it appeals to a very particular demographic of person, and it's not going to appeal to everybody. Yeah. And with Australia struggling with the televote as it is, they're going to struggle even more here.
Yeah, because they traditionally struggle with the televote, and this isn't really a jury song. Yeah. It's sort of it's for anyone who's going to throw at points at the expense of like specifically going after one or another. So it might surprise us, and I would not be upset if this did make it to the final, but I would completely understand if it didn't, which is a shame because she was my number one last year, and I want to see her do well because...
Well, she definitely would have qualified last year. Like, last year she had a pretty decent song, but this year I do worry for Australia.
Yeah, there's just split a few too many opinions, but sometimes that's how you make an omelette.
Eggs, maybe a little bit of ham, and then a bit of Australia in there too.
Yeah. So, poisonous animals and kangaroos. Woof, woof. That's the kangaroo noise, right?
Moo. North Macedonia.
North Macedonia. Criminally underrated.
Yes. This, if he nails the vocal, I could see this doing very well with the jury.
This deserves jury recognition. Like, if the juries forget about it, then they're kind of failing in their job.
Well, he's got the vocal there. The staging works with the song. It ticks all the boxes that juries should be looking at.
Yeah, I still maintain that, like, I do find the song more forgettable than I ought to. I think I should treat this song better than I do. So I recognise that the fault is with me. Because he's a lovely guy. He's a great ambassador.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a lovely individual. He's sort of like Vanya Radovadovic from 2018?
Yes, 2018.
2018. Yeah, he was like king of the memes, and he got overlooked, and that was a shame. And I'm not even going to mention the fandom reaction to the staging, because it's not like a certain other person invented it either, so it's like, chill. He doesn't deserve last place, basically.
I don't think he is going to get last place, to be honest. I think there'll be enough jury points there to pull him above the bottom.
And if nothing else, remember 2016, Calliope. I think that had a similar issue in terms of appeal, and that still came 11th, I think?
Yeah, 11th. It was quite close to qualifying.
So North Macedonia is capable of, like, being underrated and then pulling it back and turning it into a, hey, surprise, you shouldn't have written us off, you should have bought more insurance.
Well, it's the same as 2019. Like, no one expected, well, some people expected, but no one really expected North Macedonia to qualify, and then they pull out that performance and end up finishing first with the jury.
Yeah, so
anything can happen with North Macedonia, so I wouldn't write them off.
Yeah. Vote for them if you want to vote for them. And even if you don't. Ireland. Storybook time land. Jackanory, Leslie, flippity floppity paper, alleluia time.
What on earth are you on about?
I don't know. They have promise, and that's the thing with Ireland.
Yeah.
When they promise staging, it can go one or two ways.
If they nail this, it's going to be a really, really strong performance.
Definitely.
My one problem is the rehearsal. They were still making mistakes.
Yeah, whether it's like either the flickbook sort of animation thing in front of the camera, that's really clever. I don't think I've seen that anywhere before, because obviously people have been comparing this to the French national final the other year, and you know it's not the first time that forced perspective has been used like that. So obviously, but the whole flipbook thing, that I think is a relatively novel concept, and that will look good if they nail it. In the rehearsals, it looked like she was not quite on her mark, and the timing wasn't matched on each side. There was stuff like that, like the shadows of props being moved. Like you can see me move my hand; it casts a shadow on my face. It's the same sort of problem.
Yeah, you can see the camera just coming up from where it was on the floor with all the paper like things.
So it is a really good idea. It's a very solid concept. We just need to see if they've nailed it down on night, because of course
they just need to tighten it all up. And if they do, it can be a really, really good performance.
Yeah, because semi-final one, obviously we're in the UK, so we can't vote for it. So that already puts Ireland sort of on the back foot. So they're gonna need to, really make sure that they are on the ball, which is possible because Leslie does have that kind of energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
She deserves a good result. But then she's performing right before Cyprus, and Cyprus is a time, to be fair, and I said this in the initial review and it's still true now, Elena herself is a better performer than the song allows her to be.
Oh yes, absolutely. She herself elevates this song so much. She is a great performer.
Yeah, clearly the songwriters weren't giving 100%, but in performing
of course they weren't. It's Laurel Barker.
Oh! But she's giving 150, 200% to try and to balance things out. Clearly she believes in the song, and I think that comes across.
Yeah, she's having a good time. She's
playing Twister.
Her vocals are miles better than Tamta.
Yeah.
And I think she will pull off a song like this better than she did. But please, Cyprus, stop sending pop princesses. I'm so bored of them now.
Just, Cyprus, we know you can do stuff that isn't this. Great. Learn from what did work. But learn from it. Don't just repeat it.
And next time, don't just rip off Lady Gaga.
Just give Sandro another chance. He would have slayed.
Yeah. Norway.
You slay someone, they turn into an angel, and then they come back down from angelness to sing a song. That sounded cruel on my part. That wasn't the intention. So here's the thing. I'm still not a fan of this song, but Tix is a really nice guy. I do think that he has been given so much of a raw deal by the fandom. Honestly, he holds a lot of promise. I'm not going to ever like this song, but I can at least look at it and go, fair play to you, mate.
I do like this song, and I do think it's going to do better than people think it will. And I really want it to qualify, just so the Kano fans can explode. And the performance itself, it's just an updated version of the national final performance, but the lighting and the graphics on the floor and all that, it just makes it work better on this particular stage. Whereas some people have brought their performance to this stage and it hasn't worked as well. Whereas here it's elevated on this stage. And I do think this is going to do fairly well with the jury and quite well with the public as well, because his costume and aesthetic, it will appeal to televoters. It might appeal to kids who might say, oh mummy, I want to vote for the Angel Man.
Yeah,
so,
and
yeah,
then people around my age, maybe a little bit older, who had a massive crush on, I keep wanting to say Keanu Reeves, not him, Ronan Keating, because it has that kind of early 2000s boy band sort of vibes to it. I think because the vocals are in harmony throughout. And It's funny, when this was first chosen, I think people were really uncertain as to its qualifying chances, and as we got close to the contest, he's actually managed to secure it. And this was true of Naviband in 2017, when it was first chosen. People were like, is this going to qualify? And then got to the contest and like, yes, it will. We stand.
They qualified fairly easily as well, didn't they?
So Norway could go the same way this time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Even performing right before Croatia. My first reaction to this, Albina, put some underwear on, oh my god!
Like, you really don't need to get your bum out to make yourself stand out, love.
We don't need the cheeks. We know you've got them. You don't need to prove it. That makes me sound like a stalker, that's not the intention. Just me and the naughty parts, I don't like any of it. Like no, men, women, all the same, no thank you. So, other than that, like, this is one of the ones where the first rehearsal was like, oh, they don't have much planned. And then the second rehearsal, oh, the cameras are doing stuff. So...
yeah. It looks good. I think it could be better. It did underwhelm me a little bit, but I think the song itself has enough oomph to appeal to juries and televoters alike. Probably not in the top echelons of either side, but they should get a decent score.
Yeah, and I appreciate that not only have they kept the section that was in Croatian, which I think was certainly part of the appeal for me, but also that they've actually put so much emphasis on that in like the recaps, the backstage stuff. And obviously they're not trying to sell it as like, oh, this is the identity of the song. It's just, I'm glad that they're not ashamed. They're not trying to bury it or hide it. They're like, yeah, we're Croatia. What of it?
Yeah, like it's good. Like, a lot of countries are including their own language this year, apart from Portugal for some reason.
Yeah, the one time that everyone brings a little bit of their own culture, and then Portugal's like, hey guys, we're singing in English. Like, read the room.
We'll talk more about Portugal on Thursday.
We'll get to them when we get to them.
But yeah, I think Croatia, they're going to go one of two ways here. They're either going to qualify in around 8th or 9th, or they're not going to qualify in about 11th or 12th.
I would extend that to like maybe 7th, maybe 6th, if her performance is really stunning. Yeah. But I think she's not in massive danger, but a non-zero, a healthy amount of danger.
She's in that second half where there's 5 upbeat female-led pop songs, and 2 of them being Cyprus and Malta are way more hyped than Croatia. So Croatia is probably battling with those 2 for one of the qualification spots.
Yeah.
The 2 I'm talking about being Israel and Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
So she could make it, she could not. I think it's more likely than not at this stage, but we'll see.
And I would be happy to see it. Next up after that is Belgium, and I have a very strong suspicion that the staging was put together by Alex Caillet, because it makes very little sense.
Like, nothing happens, it's just her eyes on the screen and that's it.
Yeah, and they have the band members on stage and the camera is just kind of going for a walk. Like, I'm not saying you have to have a big stupid gimmick, because it definitely did not work in 2019, but like, it's a very story-heavy song. Tell a story.
Yeah, like, Heike's vocals are great.
Absolutely.
Her facial expression looks like she's bored. Like, she just doesn't seem to care. And it just all seems to, they want to try and push the classy element when really it's just like, it's boring.
If you focus too much on the black coffee atmosphere, then that's going to push away anyone who may have been receptive to it if you'd focused more on the storytelling. And I recognise that basically just sounds like me saying, oh, well, if you don't appeal to this demographic, you've not appealed to that demographic. Well, I mean, yeah, but like...
But what demographic is this going to appeal to?
Yeah, like, you're not fully taking advantage of everything that you have to play with, and that's kind of a shame.
Yeah, it's a decent song. It just falls flat compared to some of the other songs in the semi-final.
And like, we've seen Belgian national finals in the past. Obviously, they're sort of ding-donging between the Flemish and Walloon broadcasters, so I don't actually remember offhand, but I want to say the year that What's the Pressure was chosen, the national final had a load of really original staging concepts, so it's not as if it's unheard of.
Well, yeah, Belgium have somehow gone from staging Rhythm Inside and What's the Pressure brilliantly to almost it up with City Lights, and then Scenic and Elliot, their staging was terrible. So, like with Belgium, you either get the best or the worst.
And by all means, celebrate the artsy, but do it in an accessible way, because this has taken a song that people were fairly confident about and sort of pushed it out of that confidence zone.
Yeah, like they're right on the edge now,
and that is unfortunate to see.
I think juries will respond to this, but I don't. Like Belgium normally struggles with the public, and I think that's going to be the same again this year.
Yeah. I could see this going the same way as Scenic. If it didn't, that'd be great, because Scenic was my second place that year, but if it does, don't say you haven't been warned.
Plus, Alex Callier deserves to not qualify. He's a bit of a to be honest, but there we go.
Yeah. I would say don't say we didn't warn you, but I mean, day of the contest, kind of a bit late to be giving notes now. Anyway, next up, Eden Elena, Set Me Free. I think people have been a bit like this song is underrated. Like, from the moment it was chosen, people were like, oh, this isn't the song that came fourth in the earlier round. And then they revamped it and they got rid of the key change, and she can hit the whistle note. Like, that's the important thing. She can hit the whistle note. Whether or not you think it should be there is another matter entirely, but she can do it, and it doesn't sound like you're strangling a chicken.
Yeah, she performs it well. She definitely performs it well. As a song, I do like it. I do think the final minute is a little bit in your face. I think they're trying too hard for votes there.
I think that is reasonable, a reasonable concern to have, like saying, oh, hey jury, look at how high I could go. Like, yep, okay, sure. So I suppose in that regard it is kind of extra. But I the fact that she can pull it off live, could have worded that better, is that's reassuring at least.
Like the costume change towards the end of the song, that doesn't work at all for me.
You know how it didn't work for me? I didn't even realise she did it.
Yeah, it adds nothing to the performance at all.
Wow, I was today years old. That is just mind gone. But she's just so lovely. Like she looks like she really embodies the song.
Yeah, she herself is great. The song is good. The performance is good. Is it good enough? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's another one that's sort of on the cusp.
There's many of them in this semi-final. Like this, Croatia and Azerbaijan are like, they are competing for probably one spot.
Yeah. And it's not as if, like, oh, are you a fan of bops? Then you can vote for only one. So much as that will cancel out each other. So that...
Yeah, like, most people only vote for their favourite. And at the end of the day, if you like bops, you're not going to vote for all of them.
Mm.
So one or two will be left behind.
Yeah. And this doesn't deserve to be left behind, but, well, it might be left behind.
Yeah, possibly.
And then right after that, we have Romania, Roxanne, Lamija, kind of the opposite problem. Where from what I've seen, people are underwhelmed by the rehearsal footage, partly because of her costume, which I think works because, like, the whole sort of baggy clothes coupled with a message about mental health, like, as someone who has suffered, I think that works, that makes perfect sense. But, as I warned in the initial review, the choreography is quite taxed, it's being pulled around, pushed around. The costumes are great, by the way. Like the hands and everything, I really like that. But I can understand why her vocals do come across as a little bit like holding back, similar to Montaigne in the national final last year.
Yeah, I didn't really have much of a problem with the vocals. Of course, they could be a bit stronger, but they weren't off.
Yeah,
you can tell when someone's vocal is off. This vocal was on; it just wasn't as powerful.
What I kept coming back to was, like, in my reactions to the... Don't worry, you haven't missed a video. I didn't do reaction videos, but just like when I was typing up my thoughts in response to each rehearsal, what I said for Romania, what I kept coming back to was, it sounds like she's holding back. So I think on the night, tonight, she's gonna be... Like, she's gonna come out in full force and blow us away. And hopefully this comment won't age like a chocolate teapot. That's an expression.
This should make it through to the final. This is a quality entry from Romania, and it should stem the flow of them not qualifying.
Yeah, and I think the authenticity of it, especially compared to the playing a role-ness of Alcohol You, I think that helps it shine even more, which isn't fair because it is Eurovision Song Contest, not Eurovision Compare Contest. But if it works in their favour, you know, an ironic point, a point given in comparison, is still worth a point.
Yeah, and compared to a lot of the songs in the semi-final, it does stand out. It's one of the only downbeat songs, and
And
the
it's got-
other downbeat song in Belgium.
As we said, leaves a bit to be desired.
Yeah.
And it's got the wubs near the end. I like.
Yeah, this is gonna do quite well. I think it probably won't win, or even win the semi-final, but it should do okay.
This could be one where we go back to it like after once they reveal the full results. It's like, oh, Romania came third. Okay, like it might happen, it might not. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it'd be helped or hurt by the fact that it's on right before Azerbaijan, Effendi, Matahari.
Yeah, this is kinda not good.
Yeah, like I think the prevailing theory is that the staging is just a recycle of what they were going to do for Cleopatra, which would explain the snakes, I guess. But like,
But what they had planned for Cleopatra was apparently huge, and it's just a void of nothingness. Nothing happens.
I keep describing it as flat, and I don't mean like musically, because she certainly hits the notes. There's nothing wrong there, but like I'm very aware that I'm watching a put together performance on a stage. You know, it doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel like I'm being pulled into the world of the song. I just feel like I'm watching a woman and 4 sassy backing dancers singing someone else's song.
Like, it's clear they don't have any investment in the song. It's just, this is the song I have to sing, and I'm going to sing it well, but everything around her is the problem here.
Yeah,
Like the dancing doesn't really add anything. Effendi herself is not a good dancer. She's not a dancer. At the end of the day, it's just falls really flat.
It's very Eurovision polished song by numbers in terms of how it's being put across. And while that would have been a good thing 5, 7, 10 years ago, in 2021, you need to have a bit of extra spice. If it comes across as two-dimensional, then that's why what would be a safe qualifier has been missing the mark for so many people, I think.
Yeah, this could very well be the shock non-qualifier of the year. And
it would be a shame.
It would, but at the end of the day, do they really deserve it?
That's the question.
Right, Ukraine.
Ukraine, my personal winner. They could do no wrong. No, but in all seriousness, staging, I have liked what I've seen so far. They have the light people in the background, and like obviously this has nothing to do with the points that they get in the end, but I have to appreciate. Is magnanimous the word? Where Katerina had she didn't go to one of the rehearsals because she was feeling under the weather, and so they had a stand-in do the vocals for her, and you know to practice the camera shots, whatever. And she nailed it, like vocally and in terms of pronouncing the words. As far as I could tell, like I was surprised to learn that stand-in vocalist doesn't speak Ukrainian. I could believe it, and the fact that Go A have invited her to sit in with them in the green room during the show, like these guys could do no wrong apparently.
Yeah, personally, I'm not a fan of this kind of music.
And that's fair enough.
It's just not my kind of thing, but I have to appreciate that they've nailed the staging here. Like, in the first rehearsal footage, I thought this little stage with all the icy bits on, that looked a bit cheap, but the camera cuts and all that make it work. The backing LED towards the end of the song, it's chaotic, but not chaotic in an alienating way.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's the thing you need with a song like this. You need high energy, you need chaos, but you still need it to be accessible. Otherwise, it'll just shut people out.
Yeah. And like you said, like the stand-in, her vocals bang on. Katerina's vocals, I'm not personally a fan of her voice, but
that's fair enough. White voice is a very divisive style.
I'm sure that she's going to nail it on the night. And this has gone from, for me, a borderline qualifier. Even last year, I wasn't convinced Ukraine would qualify. This is going through with ease now.
Yeah, I was always convinced this was going to be safe, but like the staging and like the vocals, the everything, I'm sold. I want this to win, but then that's because it's my personal favourite, and I'm kind of trash like that. But honestly, very good. Ukraine, be proud of this. It's like if Elitsa and Stoyan had 20 espressos in a row and then went to a club. Turned down for whom? And then closing the show, Malta, Destiny, Jumakas, which I suppose is a good title to end on. You know, it's like if you ended the show with Adio or Goodbye, Hasta la Vista. Lost on the running order. Well, I'm out.
Yeah, you should say Je me casse that flipping costume. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because, like, her performance itself, I think, no issues with that.
Vocals on point. I think the staging is a bit basic.
Yeah.
It does the job. But the costume is just so meme-worthy.
And, like, what doesn't help matters is, like, I fully appreciate Destiny doubling down and saying, look, I like the costume, I'm okay. And, like, fair enough. Stick up for it, absolutely.
Yeah, more power to you, girl. If you feel comfortable in that,
yeah,
slay queen.
I think what hasn't helped is the miscommunication where I think maybe she interpreted it as some sort of body shaming. I don't think that was ever the intention.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Certainly not with us. Like, we just thought, wow, the costume kind of doesn't really match the aesthetic. Like, bearing in mind, she had so many great outfits in the music video, and then she turns up in more or less the jumpsuit that Katie Price wore in the UK national final in 2005 that we're choosing not to think about. Like,
don't remind me of that.
Like, it's not a case of being like unflattered. We just think that it doesn't like vibe with the song. Like it's similar to Jamie Lee Curtis 2016, where the outfit didn't match the song. Like, it may have matched the artist, but it didn't match the song, and that's what has us concerned.
Yeah, and this, like, the stockings are the worst part here. She doesn't even, they're not even pulled up to equal lengths. And, like, I'm just like, girl, please. The dress, I can live with that, but those stockings have got to go.
And I know how it must sound, having a man and a demi-man like criticizing your fashion sense. Like we're not trying to like objectify or anything. We're not saying let's take it off. We're not saying turn up in a bikini. We're not saying cover everything up from head to toe. Just vibe with the song a bit more.
Like, I'm a very large man in a very large yellow t-shirt. It's very clear that I have no fashion sense whatsoever. So don't even listen to a word I say. But yes, the stockings just don't work for me. They add something to laugh at to a song that shouldn't be laughed at. 'Cause the whole story of the song, it's a very, very important message, and it's not something we should be laughing at. But due to the fact she's wearing ridiculous stockings, I can't not.
Yeah.
And it's detracting from the performance as well, because she was the favourite to win, and she's no longer the favourite to win.
Yeah, like you can see since the rehearsal started the way that the betting odds have changed, and that it's not been in her favour, and it's because of the interplay between the outfit and the performance. We want to reiterate, we're not hating on like either body shape or outfit or whatever. It's literally just the outfit. I don't know how to word it anymore. Like,
the outfit just doesn't work for us. That's just our opinion. If you disagree, that's completely fine. Yeah,
like by all means, stand by it. We're not coming after. Yeah, we're not coming after Destiny for wearing it. And if she likes it, then that's great. It's just we don't think that it. Like, there's nothing really I can say without talking about in circles. So I guess we can just move on.
And that's all 16. It's strange having only 16 in the semi-final because they're normally longer than this, but. Unfortunately, Belarus decided to be idiots.
Which is unfortunate. And they're like, oh, well, we're just going to send them again next year. And the EBU is like, no, you won't.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Belarus.
That'll be fun to see come through. Anyway, speaking of coming through, annual tradition, we put out 2 lists of 10 each. One is our predicted finalists based on everything that we've said so far and seen and whatever. And then there's the 10 that we want to qualify, and then we'll compare that tomorrow to what actually happens tonight.
And I bet we're both going to be wrong.
Yeah, like somehow we have all 16 countries between us, and we're still going to be completely wrong somehow.
Yep, absolutely.
So do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah. Is this desired or predictions? Or
I guess we'll start with the predictions, what people actually care about.
Okay. So the 10 I think will qualify are Lithuania, Russia, Sweden, Ireland, Cyprus, Norway, Croatia, Romania, Ukraine, and Malta.
I think fair play to you. I want to say I think there's only one or two that we are not 100% agreed on. Because my personal prediction, and like this changes by the hour, so I am so ready to be entirely wrong, but I'm guessing Lithuania, Sweden, Cyprus, Norway, Croatia, Belgium, hopefully, because, I mean, it's a good song, Romania, Zabby Jabby, Ukraine, obviously, and Malta. I do think that it will still be a final worthy performance, just we worry.
Yeah. Ireland is like on the cusp for me, because if they nail the performance, they will probably qualify.
Yeah, that's...
If they don't, I would probably maybe swap them out for probably Belgium.
Yeah, that was the thing with me as well. I was going to say with my list, like, it was going to be either Ireland or Belgium, and there's no reason why it should be one or the other. It's like Belgium has a song that would qualify and Ireland has one that might not, but with each other's staging in terms of like how high up it's rated by the public.
Yeah. So, Desireds now.
Yeah, the 10 we would like to see in the final.
And it is very strange because between us, we want all 16 countries to qualify.
It's almost like it's a strong year or something.
So, my personal 10 qualifiers, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get probably about 5 of these. Sweden, Norway, Romania, Ireland, Croatia, Malta, Cyprus, North Macedonia,
Spicy.
Israel, and Slovenia.
Yeah, fair enough. There are some like ones in there that I think our predictions kind of say it all in terms of what we think is likely. But in an ideal world, you know, you have an appreciation for good vocalists. We love to see it.
Well, I would have put Belgium through over Slovenia, but Belgium staging is crap. So that's it.
He just came right out and said it. You see, I'm too nice to even think that sort of thing. As for mine, and again, there are some that could shibble-de-bibble up and down in various directions, besides up and down. Lithuania, Russia, Australia, Croatia, Romania, Ukrainia, Maltania, Belgiumia, Irelandia, and Azerbaijan, Janro.
Hi.
Yeah. So I do think that Russia and Australia could actually be borderline qualifiers in the actual show as well, but like I think that the juries are going to pull the plug on one or both. But
Russia, I see Russia coming last with the jury, to be quite honest. But
I'd love to see them qualify, but I won't be surprised if it doesn't happen. But I'd love to see it if they did. I love being positive about a Russian entry because it doesn't happen much, because they usually don't click with my tastes, but this time they have done.
Yay.
And I guess that's the video. So yes, to all 16 participants, I wish you the very best of luck, and scorecards, get them in the video description while they're still relevant. Ours are printed in black and white because the printer in this house is not great, but you could print them out in colour if you so choose. In the meantime, to all the artists in Rotterdam, I wish you the very best of luck, and I don't know how to sign off the video, so it's your problem now.
Okay, he literally has just run across the room, so yeah, bye!